Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Hideaway Homestead.
Oh, yes.
It's been a while since we've put a video up, and we figured we would just sort of give you a rundown of what's been going on and why you haven't seen us for a while. We are actually still alive, believe it or not. We've had a lot going on here on the farm past few weeks. It has been just extremely hot here.
Oh, yes.
The weather here has been, with the heat index and the humidity here, it's been over 100 degrees for several days.
Well, weeks. Really
Well, yeah,
ongoing
yeah,
weeks.
Yeah.
Mid-90s or hot or above almost
yeah.
every day.
Yeah. And we have not gotten any rain.
Yes, that's the problem.
And that has been a big problem.
Yeah.
So we've had a hard time keeping things that were growing alive. But finally, in the past 3 days, we have gotten some rain, and we've gotten a lot of it, which we need desperately.
Definitely over 6 inches in the past week. One day, our rain gauge only goes to 5 inches. So one day, it was to the top of the rain gauge, and we don't know if how many inches were overflowing from that. But that was a blessed change from so much dry, hot weather.
Yes. We have been concentrating on putting a lot of food in the ground, as we call it.
Yep, that's our theme. Put food in the ground.
Yes. I'm sure a lot of you have been paying attention to the economy and other things that are going on in the world.
Situations, yeah.
And so things are starting to sort of get a little desperate in certain situations in certain places. And so we are concentrating on trying to grow as much of our own stuff as we possibly can.
The other thing about that, though, is that at this time of year in Central Florida, we are limited to how many things will grow because it is hot, the days are long, and a lot of things that other places of the country they're just now planting, we're done with those crops. And so we are limited. There are only a handful, less than 10, probably vegetable crops that we can plant and be successful with this time of year. So that is another factor that we're having to work around.
Yes. Some of the things that we have done well with recently are the zipper cream peas, cucumbers. We did okay with those.
They're done now.
Yeah, they're done. We got a good amount of tomatoes this year. And we have recently planted okra in our high tunnel, and it is doing fabulous. We can't believe how big those things are getting. What else, Carol?
We've got sweet potatoes that grow this time of year for us well.
They like the heat.
Yes, and certain types of squashes. Our tromboncino squashes are just crazy.
Yeah.
And we're planting loofah. This week, Kevin planted some loofah.
Yes.
Last summer, they did well, so we're hoping they will do well again.
Yes.
And then we have planted pumpkins.
Yes,
so we'll have to show you our pumpkins that we have going, and looking forward to our pumpkin patch event this fall. So, wow, they are really taking off already. Those are about the only things that grow well here in the hot summertime. And it's just a lesson in frustration to try to grow something like spinach or lettuce this time of year. It's not going to be successful.
No.
So you just have to grow what you can during this time of year. But our theme has been to put something in the ground every day. And we are doing, Kevin mostly, is doing very well with keeping up to that goal.
Yes.
And getting stuff in the ground. So let us catch you up on where we've been and the successes. We've been picking long beans. Asparagus beans will grow here in the summer months. We call them long beans, but there's also packaged as asparagus greens. And they will grow here, but regular bush beans or the Kentucky Wonder?
The Kentucky Wonders, I think.
The pole bean style.
Beans. Yeah.
They're not happy in this kind of heat. So we're sticking to the asparagus beans, but they are coming up, and we're looking forward to a good harvest from them.
Yes. The other thing that we have done this year too, and I guess we're going to show some of this.
Yeah, we'll
show you some of this. We have increased our blueberry bushes.
Oh, yes.
Tremendous. We've got about 30 plants now, I think, or somewhere around there.
Okay.
We were able to acquire some blueberry bushes from a farm near here a month or two ago, and we got those guys in the ground, and they're doing well, and so we're looking forward to that.
Yes.
We're hoping that we're going to have a really good blueberry crop this next year.
Yeah.
So let's get going, and we'll show you what we got going on down in the farm.
We are out planting pumpkin seeds today in our pig-appointed pumpkin patch. Putting out some seeds that we had saved from past pumpkins, and Kevin is using his contraption. I scattered them all around the ground, and now he can just step on that end and push them in. We don't have to bend over all over the place. So we've done patch from where that point is ahead of us. You can sort of see the seeds that I scattered out there, the white seeds, and then we took them all the way to the edge of the building in all of this cleared area. That'll be a good patch for today anyway. We are just scattering seeds by the handful with the hope that 1 out of 4 comes up, or I don't know. What percentage do you want, Kevin? 1 out of 10? We'd still be overrun with pumpkin vines if we do 1 out of 10. So they spread out so far. But maybe these will be good for our pumpkin patch come fall.
This is what's coming up now. You can see these guys. They're all over in here. There's just bunches of them all in this thing here. We came out and just sort of scattered seeds. We figured, hey, that's how the pigs do it. So we just scattered a bunch of seeds out here in this area, and they're coming up like crazy. There's even some way over here in this area. And so we're gonna let them go, and we're hoping that this will be our fall crop for when October rolls around, and we're planning to do our pumpkin patch again.
Kevin was able to dig up and transplant these blueberry plants here from a local farm, and we also learned from this experienced farmer how to trim them and fertilize them. So we are looking forward to a great harvest next year from these blueberries. More food in the ground.
Here are our zipper cream peas inside the high tunnel, and they are doing quite well. We can't believe how well these things have done in here. This is a whole long bed of them. Yeah, it is really almost 100% germination. Some of these guys down here on the end are kind of leaning over because I just watered them. I was spraying them with the hose, and so them being tall and lanky like they are, they sort of get pushed over when the water hits them.
These were seeds that we saved from last year's crop that was in that bed over there. So
yeah, those over there, you can see those guys actually were a volunteer that came up after the crop in that bed over there. And so we saved seeds out of that bed, and you can see those are just kind of finished. There's more weeds in there than there are peas right at this moment.
We haven't replanted that this spring at all.
No, we've not planted that at all. So what you're seeing there are volunteers from the last crop that we did plant, and then we saved the seeds and planted these guys, and as you can see, they are doing quite well. So we're looking forward to seeing what these guys produce this time around. It's going to be fun. All right, we are still inside the high tunnel, and just wanted to show you, this is our okra that we planted, and we actually planted these in April, and they are doing quite well. They look like they're about to start getting some blossoms in the top of them.
Yeah.
And so then about a month later, we planted these, and you can sort of see the difference in the size in that length of time, but they are doing well also. And if I can get over here, show you a shot of them together. You can see the difference in the height.
This is waist high on me.
Yeah, that comes up to Carol's waist, those tall ones. And like I say, those have been in the ground since April. And these aren't
End
quite.
of April.
Yeah, it was April 20th or something like that, I think. But yeah, and so these guys here were about a month later. And so we're looking forward to seeing what these things do. You can see some, actually, I'll show you. You can see those little shorter ones right there that are underneath those tall ones. When I planted this bed, I had some leftover seeds and didn't know what to do with them. And so I just stuck them in there because there were some empty spots in these bigger ones. And you can see, and I think it's because the bigger ones are shading them. They're not quite as big as these over here. And they were planted at the same time. So that's, some of the stuff that we're doing, and just kind of gives you an idea of what we got going on here. Actually, this bed was planted exactly a month later. These are planted May the 20th. So you can see the difference in 1 month between those and these.
We had planted these 3 blackberry bushes. This one on this side is the most recent transplant, and treated them to some nice mulch covering. Hopefully they will do well for us. More food in the ground.
This is some of the seedlings that we've got going. These are Florida cranberries. And we just planted these when it was May the 21st, I think it looks like it says. We try to tag everything we plant so we know how long it's been there. Anyway, so these guys are looking good, and they're getting ready to go into the ground also.
They're a type of hibiscus, and we can make cranberry tea out of them, or we can harvest the blossoms to make cranberry juice and sauces. Kevin cut slips off of this overgrown sweet potato vine, and within 2 days they had formed roots and are now waiting to be planted into our sweet potato patch. More food in the ground.
Leave us a comment and tell us what you're doing.
Yeah.
We'd like to know. We'd like to find out what other people around the country are doing as far as preparing, if that's what you're doing. And let us know what it is you're growing and what works good for you and that kind of thing. Also, the comments that you put on there helps other people who see them, and it's something that everybody can benefit from. So if you've got something you're doing, tell us about it. And if you've got something you did and it didn't work, tell us that too, because if you've watched our videos, if we do something that doesn't work, we tell you the bad stuff too.
We've had plenty of failures for you to learn from.
Yes.